What is RPE? RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. It's basically just a way to say how hard was the set on a scale of 1 to 10. And the way that we decipher this sort of number, so for example, if we were to say be assigned a set of 10 reps and we did 10 reps, and at the end of the set, we're sitting here, we're reflecting on it. It's like, could we have done more work? So for it to be a 10 RPE, what would happen is at the end of the set, you would have no more reps that you could do. You felt like that was the end, that was the most that you could do, that's a solid 10. If you felt like you could do more, let's say you could do 2 more reps, then that would be a solid 8. If you think that you could do 1, maybe 2 more reps, that'd be an 8.5. And though it's not a perfect system, the idea behind RPE is it gives you a chance to discover a little bit of what you perceive as hard. And you'll find that over time, it becomes a really good gauge for understanding a little bit about yourself and where you might be able to push yourself a little bit more or where you might have to back off a little bit. Because if your RPE ratings don't really feel like they match up. So for example, you're supposed to do an RPE 8, in other words, leave 2 in the tank, and you fail at with a rep or 2 shy of ending the set, then your RPE scale is maybe a little off on that exercise, and that gives you a chance to auto-regulate. If you're finding that you always have the ability to crank out way more reps than the assigned work, you might be maybe not using the right gauge for how hard you perceive things, and you might want to challenge yourself a little bit. So over time, it really gives us a chance to explore our capabilities. Now, it's good for people who tend to have variable schedules, train at different times, or use various different exercises. And oftentimes, I use it for personal training all the time because, for the most part, most people can't follow an exact fixed schedule. There's gonna be a session that gets shuffled around or moved in the week or maybe missed because of something that happens. And though we don't want that to happen, it gives us way more flexibility than choosing exact numbers from week to week. Now, over time, you do build a repertoire of numbers that you're gonna be using. So what you might have considered an 8 in the past, you'll have reference of that, especially if you're noting it in a training log of what that would be like. So you do have some numbers that you can reference over time, but in the beginning, it just makes it easy to try to figure out, hey, how hard did I think it was? Use it as a guide. And from week to week, you will refine how you perceive or how hard you perceive things to be. So hopefully that helps clarify what RPE is. If you have any questions, let me know. Drop them down in the comments or shoot me a message. And